Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Walmart exclusive Netflix War for Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom Spoiler Box. But the spoiler box was spoiled because we know it has Megatron and a Paleotrex clone, whatever you want to call it, repaint in it. Thank you for watching this video. I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you very much. Comment below, like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified personally by YouTube as my new content becomes available. And with all that said, let's get into it. And now, as we always do here on Digital Caveman Presents, let's take a look at the packaging. And for anybody who's seen these spoiler packs before, this is really not all that different except for the leafy foliage vine on it. And, you know, it's kind of rusty. Looks like it's been sitting in the woods. Netflix, Takara Tomy, Generations, Transformers War for Cybertron, spoilers inside, containing dead spoilers and some other languages. Compound net weight, 5 ounces. That's that little nasty Play-Doh stuff that those Energon cubes are in. 8 plus Hasbro. There's a top with some more overgrowth on it and a handle, Decepticon symbol. On this side, there's a hint of the spoiler, which is Megatron and some foliage growing up the ammo container. On the back, spoilers inside and more foliage, small print, fine print, legalese print, symbols I'm not going to learn, barcode, and all kinds of small print. On this side, some ammo showing through the hole in it. Some more foliage. Spoilers inside. On the bottom, don't stick things in your pie hole that don't belong there. And it says it in all kinds of language. French, German, and that's all I recognize, of course. And that, my friends, does it for the packaging, at least the outside of it. And now let's take a look at the figures in alt mode. But before we do that, let's take a look at the instruction manual, Megatron and Fossilizer Skelevor. I wonder if somebody is going to 3D print a new head for this guy. A Skeletor head. And then he can be Fossilizer Skeletor. That would be freaking awesome. But anyway, dude's name is Skelevor. Transformer Generation, War for Cybertron Trilogy. Nicely illustrated. I still prefer the Kingdom colors for the instructions. And then there's more stuff on the inside here. We got a couple of different ways that you can set up Skelevor as weapons for Megatron. I'm not going to do all that. So I hope you looked at the instructions if you want to look at it, because I never do that with the fossilizers. I know that is their gimmick, but I like them turning into bony dinosaurs and bony robots. But that is the instructions. And now the biggest surprise for me in this box is what was in the goo. And I call it goo, but it's basically just some nasty black Play-Doh. And what was in there was 2 blast effects, and the Allspark. So I was not expecting that. That I did not know was in there. I thought it was going to be 3 more little Energon cubes. Straighten up, you. But now, let's take a look at Megatron first. Now, Megatron also comes with this bandolier matrix, which I don't know how it works in robot mode yet because I hadn't took a look at it. It doesn't work so well in vehicle mode. It has clips on it, and it's kind of made of a softish plastic. And then you clip them up under here, and then you're supposed to clip them in this area right here, and it's too loose. It doesn't stay. The plastic's too soft. It'll sit for a little bit and then it comes off. But that is an option. You can try to do that if you want. I don't like that in alt mode. I don't know if I like it in robot mode yet or not. We'll find out. Nice silver paint. No real battle damage, space mud type battle damage anyway. I mean, you can see there's some, he's got some dark patches on his silver chromy looking colors. Got some paint on the gun barrel here. Nice looking. I mean, the Siege Megatron has always been a nice looking figure. This is, of course, his Cybertronian tank mode because, spoiler, this is how he looked in the show. He never changed to an Earth mode. None of them did, as a matter of fact. Spoiler. But this mold has been used quite a bit. And again, it's a nice mold. This is actually the second Netflix. Is it the second one? Second? Yeah, I think it's the second time this mold has been repainted for Netflix. The other one came with the 2 Battle Masters. But what came with this Megatron is Skelevor. This is the real reason I wanted this pack. I mean, it just looks neat. The translucent plastic, the silver paint apps, the black in some areas. This is just a really neat looking figure. I'm already a fan of the fossilizers. Ractonite, of course, being my favorite. But, this guy's pretty dang awesome too. And he looks pretty dang awesome in robot mode. Also. And as far as articulation goes, the tank, it kind of rolls. It has these 4 wheels on the bottom. Oh, Megatron. And then, of course, the barrel or the turret on the tank does spin. It does kind of get locked up right there because of the peg, but if you force it, you can make it go all the way around. I'm not going to. And then on, almost called him Paleotrex, Skelevor, you know, he's got his jaw works and he can look up and down a little bit. Like if you bend it here, he can look way up, but not down a whole lot. If you unhook the head just a little bit, he can look down a little more. The little T-Rexy arms are on ball joints, so you know you get some in and out, and it'll go all the way around. His legs here, you know, they will go all the way around him there, and then of course they will spin 360 degrees, and then he's got knees that, you know, look, it's a fossil in the rocks. And then he does have some movement here in his tail. You can go up and down, or you can swing it around and make it go down and up. It is, of course, your preference, my friends. I do really like the deco on this guy. He looks pretty cool. And then, of course, the Predacon symbol and some more silver paint down here on the shield breastplate thingy. All right, that is a look at their alt modes and accessories. Now let's take a look at some comparisons, and we'll start off with Megatron first. And I don't know why he's over there. He should be over there. And I don't have the other Netflix Megatron, but I do have the Siege, the regular release of the Siege Megatron. And as you can see, gray, silver. Now they both have the headlights painted. This one, of course, has the streaky battle damagey stuff on it, while this one does not. He has this faded black paint instead. And from the sides, you can see he's black and is that a grayish or brownish? I don't know. I'm colorblind, so. And then this one is all black. It's not two-tone like this one. And then this one is just silver on the top and black on the bottom with, you know, it's kind of faded into the black from the silver. Again, we've got this difference here in color. And then, you know, we've got red here, and we've got, I think it's blue here. And it doesn't go all the way up like the red does. And then we have a little bit more detail here that we don't have here, and we don't have here that we have here. And then pretty much the same on this side as the other side. And that was Siege Megatron, the regular release. And now here is Earthrise Megatron in tank mode. And as you can see, they look pretty different. Even though they're, you know, Earthrise Megatron is just a heavy retool of the Siege Megatron, but there's some comparisons nonetheless. I love that great big old Decepticon symbol on the side there. It's the Transformer Centipede. Ew, that's gross. Alright, that is a look at Megatron and comparisons for him. Next, we'll take a look at Skelevor. I really keep wanting to call him Skeletor. And I'm not going to do all the fossilizers, just Paleotrex. Get back on there, you. So as you can see, they are the exact same mold. Just molded in different color with a little bit of different paint applications. This one really looks more like a fossil than any of them. Except for maybe Ractonite's pretty close to looking like an actual fossil too. But this one looks like a fossil who just got dug up. And as you can see, you know, the silver paint apps on Skelevor really, really stand out. Alright, that is a look at alt mode comparisons. And now before we move on to transformations, I did forget a couple of comparisons. So I'm going to get them in here right now. Here is the Amazon exclusive Earthrise Dead or Alternate Universe Optimus Prime. And of course, can't do a Transformers video without Titans Returns Legends Class Bumblebee. Now that wraps up the comparisons. Moving right along. Now, my friends, we have come to the comedy portion of our program, where I attempt to transform these Transformers. So let's get started, and we'll start with Megatron. Because why not? Because Megatron told me he was gonna kick my fleshling butt if I didn't transform him first. So first thing you want to do is gently work the barrel off the rest of his fusion cannon. Sorry, I got an itch there. And yeah, I mean, my experience is I didn't have to be too gentle with it, but my son had he has the Siege version, and when he was pulling it out, he broke this peg off inside Megatron's fusion cannon. So ever since then, I've been like, okay, well, let's take it easy on that. Alright, and you spin that around and clip it together, and now it's a sword. Chop, chop. And now let's get started on the rest of Megatron. First of all, you want these tabbed in here. So you want to undo that tab, see? I don't know if you can see the tab. Right there is the tab, and there's a slot right on the opposite side that it tabs into. And once you got that, you want to open this up. And this is the weirdest part of this Megatron's or this one in the Earthrise Megatron. And you just kind of unfold the leg and twist this piece right here without moving this piece right here, which is easier said than done, my friends. But once you get it out about that far, you can bend it on this hinge right here, and that does make it a little bit easier. And I still put it on there backwards. There. But the foot is supposed to be facing this way. And you can close this back up, straighten his foot up, and flip out the rest of his foot, or his heel spur, whatever you want to call it. And again, let's untab. And if y'all are wondering where that slot is for that tab, it's right here. But I'm sure everybody has probably, who's watching this, has probably transformed to Siege Megatron already. That does not want to turn. Alright, and work that hinge, close this up. Make sure the foot is facing backwards. Straighten his foot up and flip out the heel spur. Then spin the waist around. And the feet now are supposed to be facing forward. Alright, and let's untab these two sections here. There's tabs right here and slots right here, and that's on both sides. And there's also, I don't know how well you can see it, there's a tab right in there that just kind of clicks in there. Once that's done, you can straighten that part up, and then you move this forward, just kind of work it loose. Now you can untab the arms from the cannon. I'm just going to pull it all the way off just to get it out of the way. And then move the arms into position. You can see they have a tab on them right here. And they just kind of go around. Then you got these pieces on top of the arm. They just fold down. Then you want to fold this back piece down while trying to work everything into place. These arms don't like to stay where they're supposed to, when they're supposed to, while you're transforming sometimes. Not all the time. Again, you want to keep working this till you can get this piece here to lay flat, and then push it down and make sure it's in there securely, and you'll know that you got it in there with Megatron's head being in the right place or looking right. Now you'll notice here there are some slots, and right here are some tabs. And that's on both sides. And you fold these in, and let's get them folded in. And you tab them in there just to kind of keep them from flopping into the way while he's in robot mode. And to me, this secures a lot better than Earthrise Megatron. And flip his hands out. It's got a little peg right there you can use if you need to. And his backpack does make him just a tad back heavy. And we didn't look at this earlier, but see that big silver streak on his fusion cannon? That looks pretty awesome. At least it does to me. Alright, then you use this peg in this hole and put Megatron's fusion cannon into place. Then we have his sword. He can hold it in his hand, or it does have this peg here, which you can store it on his back, but that makes his backpack even heavier. So he still does not want to stand up. So there is Megatron, all transformed. And transform might not be the right word for this guy, because he is the epitome of a parts former, but that's okay. I like this guy anyway. So you just start by just pulling him apart. Where he pulls apart, don't try to pull him apart in places that he's not supposed to be pulled apart. That would not be good. And just pull that piece off. It just tabs in on these two tabs with those two slots right there. And in case you couldn't see it way over there, there's the two tabs. And again, this is on a hinge right here, and there's a post and a hole, and there's also a slot right here and a tab. I don't know if you can see it real good or not. There's a tab right there. And once you got that done, you can untab it on the other side and it just comes off. And then this piece just pulls out of there. Now, I don't remember what the instructions say. This is where I like to start. And you just fold the dinosaur head down. There's a post here and a hole there. And that just tabs into place. You spin his head around. And wow, look at that. I know it's supposed to be the mace where you can pull this out. And it's a mace like that. But personally, I like to say that's his war mask. But you flip that up to show the face. Then you take this hip piece here. Stick it in there. And you find the tail piece with the hinge on it. That goes in the other side there. And this foot goes here to become the other part of his arm. And then you take the opposite foot and do the same thing on the opposite side. So, alright, that part is done. And let's take this shield chest piece thingy, and it just has a peg, and there's a hole right there. And it just pegs into place, of course. Now, let's work on his legs. First of all, you want to take this part. It was like this. You want to take it, stand it up, or move it up, not stand it up. This part just folds back. And same thing on this side. And that part folds back. Then there is this piece, and I just like to take these hands and just fold them up against the chest. And you see here's the main crotch piece. And you just move these legs down. Or these upper, I guess these are the upper thighs. Or the thighs. Then you plug the rest of the leg into it. Then you plug the top piece into the bottom piece. Then you can take this, the end of the tail, and this is his weapon. And there's a tab on it right there. And there's a slot here. And I think it's supposed to go in there. I never tried this with Paleo Treks. Okay, so that doesn't work. So you just take this post and peg it in that hole right there. And that's his weapon. All right. Not too bad for a transformation comedy segment. There it is. Moving right along. And now let's take a look at these two guys in robot mode. And we'll start with Skelevor. And I gotta say, the paint apps on this guy with this translucent plastic mixed in with the solid pieces, this looks awesome. I really, really like this guy. He actually may take Rachtonite's place as my favorite fossilizer. Nice silver paint apps on the face. You can see his eyes in there, nicely painted. And then again, we'll take a look at what I like to call the war mask. You know, the silver teeth, the horns painted silver, the translucent. I mean, that looks pretty darn good. And you have the silver highlights here on the chest piece with the Predacon symbol. The silver highlights here on what is now his shoulders. And over here on this side too. That basically does it for the silver highlights, except for the teeth. Here in the back, the rest of it is either translucent plastic or solid plastic. Some of it in darker colors. And some of it not. As far as articulation goes, his head, he can look up that far, down that far. We'll go all the way around. Watch out though, because he will stab you in the fingers. Shoulders come out that far so he can T-pose. They will go all the way around. And there's a point of articulation here. I don't know if that really counts, but I mean, it's there. There's a rotation here. And then again here where the elbow meets up with the rest of the arm. As far as range on the elbow, let's take a look. Better than 90 degrees that way. Dang it, get back in there. And also better than 90 degrees that way. And that is on both sides. Wrist articulation, and he does have a swivel there, and fingers. And that's the same on this side as well. And this bone tail sword thing will swap either hand. It doesn't matter. He does have waist rotation all the way around. He can kick up that high. He can kick back even further. So if you are an enemy of this guy, don't stand behind him because he kicks like a donkey. Now, he does have upper thigh rotation, 360 degrees. And of course, here where his knee pegs in, he also has rotation at 360 degrees. The knee will give you a 90-degree bend and just a little bit forward too. And then, you know, the legs right here. This is mainly due to his dyno mode, but hey, I'll take it. Then at the foot, nothing up and down and no tilt. So that's why we got to take this, because there's no tilt here. But I am much more impressed with this guy than I thought I was going to be. This is actually the real reason that I bought this pack. It's because I wanted this fossilizer. And the Megatron is what I've looked at of him so far. You know, I'm enjoying the Megatron too. I may actually take this one and replace the Earthrise Megatron in my display with this. Even though he's a siege one, it doesn't matter. It's still Megatron. But there is Skelevor. Now let's take a look at Megatron. And let's just go ahead and take this off and get it out of the way. We've already taken a look at it. So now maybe he's not as apt to fall over while we're taking a look at him. And let's look at the face. I mean, it's hard to see it here. Let me shed some more light on that subject. Uh-oh, I turned that light off. It was already on. Nicely painted red eyes. And I do believe they have a black outline around the red. That is the way it looks to me. But that is Megatron. Die, fleshling. Yeah, okay. The silver spray here. The damage effects. His Decepticon logos all scratched up. He's got some red here. Bits and boops and beeps there. We just talked about the silver streak on his fusion cannon. And the silver paint and the silver. It looks like silver with a black wash. Maybe, or black sprayed on it. That's nice. And then a little bit of color right here. And then some damage effect here, so I guess he does have some of that damage effect on him. But you know what? It doesn't look bad. I really like the way I really like the colors on this one. I'm glad I picked it up now. I really am. Look at that nice. That's just nice. This kind of goes back to another thing I was saying about the Netflix figures being a testing ground for premium finish. I don't know that for a fact, but that is my guess. Because the paint job on these Netflix figures are a little better. Actually, a lot better than some of the mainline releases. Now let's talk about Megatron's articulation. You gotta watch this piece right here. They haven't fixed that. They fixed it on the Earthrise version, but not this one, so it does like to come loose. So he can look up that far and down that far, and his head will go side to side, but it doesn't look like it's going to go all the way around. So Megatron will not do the full Exorcist. At least mine won't. Arms go all the way out to 90 degrees. They will go 360 degrees all the way around. Does have rotation at the elbow, which gives you slightly better than 90 degrees. Nothing, well, I guess you could say in and out at the wrist, but I don't really count that because that's part of transformation. Now, I mean, waist rotation is also part of transformation, but I do count that, so I don't know. I guess I just pick and choose what I count. And let's see, his legs will go apart that far. And Skelevor can kiss it, Megatron said. He can kick up that high. Kick back that far because of the backpack getting in the way. He does have an upper thigh cut on a mushroom peg for 360 degrees rotation. Knee bend gives you that much. And nothing really up and down at the ankle, but he does have, well, I say he does. Yes, he does have tilt. You just have to pop this piece right here loose. It's all on one hinge right there. So, there we go. And now we have, let's see if I can figure out how this dumb thing is supposed to hook on here. I hope it hooks better than vehicle mode. So it's got the hooks on it. There's holes right here. It's supposed to hook in there and in there. And then where's it supposed to? I guess it's supposed to hook under here. And under here. Alright, that does work a little bit better than in tank mode. And as far as, I was going to say the Matrix, but the Allspark, it does have a port here and some kind of small port here. I don't know what that's for. But this port does fit on the blast effect pegs, so it can stick to him. And then we have these blast effects. And they just peg right in there. Let's see. He doesn't have a place for a blast effect. Oh, look at my nice, lovely hat. It fell off. So we'll just get that out of the way. Megatron's sword also can hook right there or on this peg. Either way, however you want to do it, or you can hold it in his hand. You just put that sword wherever you want to, Megatron said. Alright guys, that does it for a look at these guys in robot mode. Next up, robot mode comparisons. My favorite. Alright, now it's comparison time. And we will start off with the mainline Siege Megatron. And we'll just see if we can squeeze him in the middle here. Or not. Come on, Boney. Stand up. Slide him over. Slide him over. And slide him over a little bit. So as you can see, even in this far away, you can see the big differences in the deco on this one and the deco on this one. And I'm not going to go in depth with it like I did on the alt mode. I mean, what you see is what it is. This one is, in my opinion, a supremely better paint job than the Siege one. So let's take him out. And let's take a look at Earthrise. If you'll cooperate. And there we go. You can see his gun sword thing. I hate that piece. Sticks really way up there. And stand up straight, Megatron. He doesn't want to. And now he's knocked his other self out. I'm not even counting the cannon piece sticking on the back. This Earthrise Megatron is slightly taller than the Siege Megatron. And again, you got to watch out for that piece, which they fixed it on this one. And this one, in my opinion, really has much more of a G1 look than this one. But the deco on this one is awesome. 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 I mean, just look at him. It speaks for itself. It really does. Right. And of course, Paleotrex. Next to his brother or cousin. Let's close his war mask down too. Yeah. Now Paleotrex, I don't know if you can see it. His eyes pop a little better in his war mask than Skelevor's does. And now Skelevor is not going to stand up. So there we go. And you can, I mean, night and day difference between these two guys. It's, I don't know. Like I said, this guy looks like a fossil that just got dug up. And this guy looks like a fossil who is radioactive. The only thing that could have made this guy better is if he glowed in the dark. That would be awesome. And now, of course, we can't do a Transformers review without Titans Returns Legends class Bumblebee. And here is, sorry about bumping that camera again. I just can't help it. Here is the Earthrise Netflix Optimus Prime. Alrighty, folks, that does it for the comparisons. For final thoughts on the Walmart exclusive Netflix Kingdom Spoiler Pack, containing Siege Megatron in his Netflix deco, and Skelevor, who didn't make an appearance in the show at all. I really like this pack overall more than I thought I would. I was just like, another Megatron repaint. Who really needs that? But this guy. But I was really surprised by the Megatron and how much I like the deco on this guy. And it was a big surprise when my son went through the nasty Play-Doh crap and pulled out the little bag of goodies, and it wasn't 3 Energon cubes, it was 2 Blast Effects and the Allspark. So that was pretty cool. And I do like this bandolier in robot mode. I like this bandolier. In vehicle mode, not so much. But I don't keep my Transformers in vehicle mode anyway. But I was really surprised by this pack. And I really may replace Earthrise Megatron with this Netflix Megatron because the deco is so much better. And it's great. I love it. Way more than I thought I was. Now, if this is going to be your 45th repaint of Siege Megatron, then yeah, you're probably going to want to pass on it unless the fossilizer is the piece that you really, 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 really want. But I enjoy this pack. I do not regret buying this pack at all. At full retail even. This pack is worth it. Again, like I said, if this isn't your 45th Siege Megatron repaint, this is only my 2nd Siege Megatron. So, not disappointed at all. Not a bit. I can't wait for the other fossilizers to come out. I even want to get my hand on creepy ass Transmutate. And that thing creeps me out. But you know what? I love the fossilizers. And they're going to stay in bone mode probably. Now I might keep, this guy looks pretty sharp in his robot mode. I may keep him like this, and he'll be the Predacon leader of the fossilizers. I don't know. We don't know any story about these guys, so. But anyway, I love this pack. If you get your hands on it, I think you'll probably love it too. Again, if it's not your 4,000th Siege Megatron repaint. Well, that does it for the review. Thank you for watching this video or any of my other videos that you may have watched, which I hope is all of them. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews, and don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.